Okay, moving on to question 11. So you're given this triangle and the question says work out the area of triangle ABC. Triangle ABC is the triangle that goes between point A, point B, point C, like that. So we want to figure out the area of that triangle. So obviously you need to know what the formula for the area of a triangle is. Now, if you don't know that, you will need to remember this. Okay, the area of a triangle is a half times the base times the height. Okay, so half times the base times the height. So our base is easy to spot. The base of the triangle is just that 52 there. So we're going to do a half times 52. Don't panic about that if that looks difficult. That's just what is a half of 52. A half times 52 is the same as what is a half of 52. And then we need to times it by height. The height can pose a little bit of a problem here because we have three other numbers on the triangle. So we have to ask ourselves, well, which one of them three numbers is the height? Think about how you would measure your height. Would you measure it straight up, or would you measure it sort of slanty like that? Like if I wanted to measure my height using a tape measure, would I measure the tape measure right up my sort of back from my heel up to the top of my head? Or would I put it over here somewhere and measure it like that? Well, clearly, you'd measure it straight up, wouldn't you? Okay, so we're going to do a half times 52 times 9. Now, when you do a sum like that, you can do this in any order you want to. You can do a half times 52 and then times that answer by 9. You can do 52 times 9, divide your answer by 2, just times it by half. Or if you wanted to, you do a half times 9 and then times that answer by 52. The best way to do this, I think, is to do a half times 52. A half of 52 is 26. So this becomes 26 times 9. And we can do that using columns. 6 times 9 is 54, so I'm going to put a 4 there, I'm going to put a 5 carried. 2 times 9 is 18, add the 5 becomes 23. So our answer there is 234 centimetres squared. Okay, you need to learn that. Next one, part B. This shape is made from two rectangles. Okay, so you can see two rectangles, either looking at it like that or looking at it sort of like that. The shape has one line of symmetry. Now that is really important. I'll come back to that in a second. The perimeter of the shape is 40. Remember that perimeter is where we add up all the sides. And the length of BC is 4 times the length of AB. We'll come back to that stuff in a second. Okay, work out the length of BC, which is this line here. That's what you want to figure out. What's that length of that line there? So the shape has one line of symmetry. Now the reason that's important is because the only number you're given on this question is this number 10 here. But if we're told that this shape has one line of symmetry, you should hopefully be able to spot where it is. Okay, the line of symmetry is there. Which means that the lengths here are going to be identical to the length there. So straight away, we know that if that's 10 centimetres there, that's got to be 10 centimetres there. Okay. Now, the rest of this, the best way to do this is to use algebra. Now, I know we won't like doing this, but basically it's going to form an equation. There is other ways of just trying different numbers and stuff like that. But if we know that the length of BC is 4 times the length of AB, if we call AB x, we know that BC will be 4x because that will be 4 times it. And that will be the same over here, then that will be x, and that will be 4x, which would allow me to set up an equation because I then know that all of these lines added together must add up to 40 centimetres. So we've got x, add 4x, add 4x, add x, add 10, add 10, equals 40. Okay, now we can simplify that. Let's group our x's together. 1x, 2x, 4x and 4x is going to be 8x. So all together there we've got 10x. 10 add 10 is 20, so 10x add 20 equals 40. And now this is an equation that we can solve like that. We're going to take away the 20 from both sides. So that's going to leave you with 10x equals 20. We're going to divide both sides by 10. So we're going to get the x is 2. Okay. Now if x is 2, we're not actually finished just yet. You might be sort of like forgiven for mistaking that. But that isn't the final part. We're asked what is the length of BC. Now x isn't the length of BC. 4x is the length of BC. So if that's 2, 4 lots of 2 means that BC must be 8 centimetres. So there's actually quite a lot of work there. By the way, what you could have done here is just try different numbers and said, well, let's assume that AB is 1. It means that would be 4. So that would be 1, add 4, add 4, add 1, add 10, add 10. Does it equal 40? No. Let's try 2 then. And eventually you would kind of hit on the right answer. So you can do it that way, but that's the best, most efficient way of doing that. Okay. Right. Looking at the mark scheme then for question 11A. There's our working up there. Okay, so M1, 9 times 52 over 2, which is 9 times 52 divided by 2, or the way we wrote that was a half times 52 times 9, or equivalent. So our way there is exactly the same as this, and that's fine. Notice it says over here, maybe in stages. So if you'd have written down 52 times 9 and then done divided by 2, that's absolutely fine as well. Okay. 234, your accuracy mark, CAO, if you ever see that, it means correct answer only. So if you get this wrong, if this, I don't know, so you end up with like 23.4 or something that looks similar to that but isn't exactly right, you won't get that accuracy mark. That has to be 234. Okay, right, part B. There's quite a few little marks that you can pick up here. Right, correct use of line of symmetry, M1. Now, what that would mean is, as long as you put that there, as long as you show that line of symmetry and show that, well, that has to be 10 centimetres, it means that these two things are going to be the same. So as long as you try and use that to solve the problem, you instantly get a mark. And you can see that in there. If you see where it says this part here, because I think that's the easiest mark to pick up there to spot, well, that must be the line of symmetry. So that's 10 centimetres and that's 10 centimetres. Adding them together to use 20 here gets you a mark. Okay, right, correct use of proportion. Now the proportional part was to say, well, if that's x, that's 4x. Okay, basically to make use of that sentence there. So as long as you've done something with these two things, you would get that second mark there. Okay, your 8 centimetres is your accuracy mark. So to get from these two marks to that final mark there, there's a lot going on. Just to get the 2 marks is quite easy. If you put a 10 there and then just show that this is 4 times bigger than that, you get 2 out of the 3 marks there. But to get that final accuracy mark for the answer, you have to do everything else right, solve all the equation and get the answer at the end. So there was a lot going on there. Okay.